On a nice and sunny day in suburbia, a couple has hit their 10th anniversary and now they are discussing how should they celebrate it. A man proposed they should go to have dinner in one of the city's finest restaurants, the offer at which she firmly said yes to. They arrived to the restaurant relatively early so they could find a free table. Upon arriving to the restaurant, the waiter has arrived immediately to offer them a seat at the table. They were lucky, as there was only one free table specially made for anniversaries. "Just follow me," the waiter has said. As they were seated to the table, a couple has ordered an extensive list of meals and sweets. They were both astounded by the food's taste and diversity. As they were eating meal by meal and as the evening was getting closer, a couple decided they were up for a quick and refreshing drink. "Are you thirsty?" she asked, at which he responded positively. The waiter has served them with drinks, and after they talked about their plans for the future and personal things, they decided to go home. As they were preparing to go to sleep, something horrifying had happened. Her husband has suddenly dropped and collapsed dead on the floor, which meant that this is a police matter now. After an autopsy has been performed, it was found that the poor man has been poisoned and that the deadly substance was taken very recently, most likely in a drink. The first and obvious suspect for the crime was the waiter, who was immediately put in prison. However, after gaining some further insights about what happened, it was discovered that both drinks were poisoned, while only husband has died and wife stayed alive. How could this be? How could it be that both husband and wife were both perfectly healthy and both drank all their drinks fully and only one of them has died? Also, both of their drinks had the same amount of poison. Lastly, once you figure out how did only husband die, try to see how you could use that in order to prove that the waiter was innocent all along. If you could do that, you'll be able to set free an innocent man, so all the best. Pause the video and give it a little thought. In order to figure out how did the accident happen, we need to think about what was the barrier between the poison and the drink. In this case, that barrier was ice. Let's take a closer look at what happened before the drinks were served. When the ice cube was put into a drink, it contained a very small but deadly amount of poison in the center of the cube. The reason why wife has stayed alive is because she was so thirsty that she drank the whole glass before the ice along with the poison could dissolve inside the water. Her husband, on the other hand, wasn't as lucky, as he was worried about their plans for the future. He talked about it for just the right amount of time so that the ice has dissolved and the poison was inside the drink. Now let's solve the last piece of the puzzle, which is how does this all set the waiter free out of the prison? Let's put ourselves into the waiter's position. If we wanted to poison the couple, we wouldn't risk ice cube dissolving inside the drink. We would put the poison inside the drink independently, and only then one would be sure that both parties get poisoned. Therefore, it doesn't make sense for the waiter to poison the couple with the poison contained inside the cube. That implies that the waiter wasn't aware of the deadly content of the ice cubes he was serving, which automatically sets him free. However, there is one last thing that needs to be discussed. The fact that the poison was contained inside the ice cube implicates that it was done by someone who didn't have the access to those drinks in the first place, which also favors the waiter's position. That someone might have counted that the waiter would be accused of the crime and that nobody would give it a second look. However, due to the unforeseen circumstances, we managed to figure it out. Lastly, based on all of this, there is only one conclusion that can be drawn, which is that the real killer is still out there.